What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Angry Jackal, Robert R. Ricks. And you might be asking yourself, what the fuck are you doing a review on WINX? Well, come close. I have got stories to tell you. So, many motherfucking moons ago, there was a guy named Rob Ricks who put out a card game called The Street Warriors. And while putting out the card game, I got to rub elbows with a company called Upper Deck. Upper Deck was bemoaning the fact that they could not penetrate the young girl market. Maybe bad choice of words. Could not get young girls interested in playing collectible card games. So they tried their hands with a company called WINX Club. WINX Club had cartoon series that was pretty popular at the time. It was interesting intellectual property, and so Upper Deck threw all that they had behind it into creating a collectible card game called WINX something or other. I can't remember what the actual, let's see if it's on this box right here. Magical Fairy Game, right? So it was a card-based game, blah blah blah. It had scratch and sniff. They sent it home with me. I had young daughters at the time. My kids fucking hated it. I went back and said, yeah, my kids don't like this shit. Like, who chose all of the scratch and sniff colors? Like, the kids did not dig this shit at all. And they threw a challenge down and said, well, I guess you can make a collectible card game for girls, and it would resonate with all the different age groups and everything else. And I went back to the hotel room and I made a game called A Girl's Life, right? And it was kind of like, think of transparencies that you can do dress up with. So you get different items of clothing, and a different items of clothing, if they made a set, could do different things. And you had different life events and things of that nature. So you started off as a young kid, then you went blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. But I was familiar with WINX Club because of that experience. And so that it was always sitting in the back of my head. Well, recently on Netflix, a show popped off called Fate, a WINX Saga, the WINX Saga or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? WINX? What? That sounds familiar. No, that can't be it. And I saw the trailer of it and I thought, oh, so that's kind of cute. Kind of feels like, yet another magical teen angsty blah blah blah. And I was like, fuck it, let's check it out. So me and the wife started watching it, and the first episode was all right. Wasn't bad. We were kind of like, all right, it's kind of cool. But something in the back of my head kept nagging. This is like motherfucking WINX. It's that same shit. You did that. You're working with Upper Deck, and they were trying to get this little kitty card thing out. And I'm like, damn, I don't know if that's real. Is that really based off of this? Went to this? Is that possible? Can you go from this to this? I was like, I don't know. So we watched it, and as we were watching it, I started saying yes. And I said, oh, okay. Yes. I recognize some of the characters. I had to dig deep in my brain. Yes. There's Bloom. Love interest Bloom was a guy named Sky. And then one of her home girls that was, helping out situations with Aisha. I was like, okay. Then there was Musa, who was supposed to be Asian. It was supposed to be patterned off of Lucy Liu, I think. But whatever, I digress. Whatever. Bad boy Riven. Okay. Then they had Stella, which actually, as I watched the show, I felt this character had the deepest story and actually really, really good quasi-redemption arc. I really liked this character. And then there was Tara, who wasn't, a chubby cute girl. But this was another one of my favorites. I really enjoyed her story arcs and whatnot. And then they had, the obligatory bad guy girl, which was, Beatrix. And boy, oh boy, did she play the bad girl. She definitely played the bad girl. So as I watched this shit, I was like, wow. These are supposed to be 16, 17-year-old kids, right? Fairies in kind of like a Hogwarts type school. They got a headmistress, darling. Farrah Darling who's in charge of everything, and she seems capable. She seems like she's on stuff, and the whole mystery is about Bloom, right? So Bloom is new to the school. She didn't even know she was a fairy. She got found on the Earth, but they're in like the other world type shit, where the school's at, and cell phones work and all this crazy shit. I'm just kind of like, all right, whatever. I'm just kind of rolling with it. Like, whatever. You guys are defining your world. I'm just watching. And, the character banter back and forth was kind of fun. Seeing Stella as the bad girl, like she's the princess. She's literally the princess. Like, her mother is queen, and her mother is a bitch, by the way. We're talking cunt. Super cunt level bitch. And we get to see some rivalry between her and Bloom, because Sky was like the heartthrob of, like, that little love triangle. And speaking of fucking love triangles, there's like maybe gay but not quite gay, not sure if you're gay, like love triangle between like these two and Beatrix, some shotgunning, kissing, making out. It's like, this show is like all over the fucking place, and I was just like, all right, it's somewhat realistic in some ways. Like, I was thinking back when I was 16 and the shit that we would say. Like, I was like, yeah, this is like a more realistic depiction of like inner city 16-year-old fairies. You know what I mean? Like, just some of the shit that was said. And they're like having beer pong parties and shit. I'm like, okay, they're like 16, but they're getting drunk and shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. And the whole thing is, Bloom, she's a changeling, and na, and she keeps making bad decisions, not necessarily about the boy. Like, the boy like comes in and she's like, I don't need no man. I'm dominant and strong. I don't need nobody. Woo woo. And she keeps making bad decisions, and I was like, what does this remind me of? Well, the bitch from Warrior Nun. That's right. It's kind of a trope that they like to do on Netflix, I think. It's the type of stories where, the girls start off as enemies and they become close fucking friends and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck. This is kind of like you take the cartoon version of WINX, right? So you take WINX, bink. Then you say, hey, how can we make this shit edgy? Like, I don't know. Let's make it edgy like, that vampire show with the fucking sighing bitch, and let's take a little bit of edginess from like Warrior Nun. There's our fucking story. And so you're kind of just riding along. You're like, all right, whatever. And you get to it. And you're like, and it wasn't like, I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't like, oh my God. Like, they ended each episode with like a really good, compelling cliffhanger where you're like, fuck. All right, let's go. Keep going. So we watched another episode. There's only 6 episodes. It's really short in regards to the Netflix, thingamabobs. But then my wife, who is not a comic book nerd at all, right? So then Bloom starts, getting a little bit more thing. Oh, hang on. My wife's calling. I gotta let her know. She's funny. She's like, so call you right back. Most anyway. So my wife was not a comic book fucking nerd, right? She's just like, we're watching as Bloom is getting more and more powerful, right? She's getting more and more powerful. And then, we're like, oh my God, she's going out. She's going to do this fucking thing. You got these motherfucking monster fucking things, right? They're coming and they're trying to chase her down and whatnot, And then we're like, she's going to fucking go. She's going to do it. My wife's yelling. She's going to go Dark Phoenix. She's going to do Dark Phoenix. And I'm just looking at my wife, like, with total love in my eyes. And come to find out, the character actually does have something called a dragon fire. So anyway, fucking Bloom does her fucking, where is that shit? Boom! She does her thing. So she transforms. She gets some wings, right? And then she starts laying fucking smack down on these fucking things. Blow, 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 until boom, they're all fucking dead. And these things are like hard as fuck to kill. But she like straight Dark Phoenix that shit. She just straight fucking raw. And she just was like a blah, 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 just killing them. Wait a minute. I've seen the shit. Wait. Where have I seen the shit that looks like this before? I don't know. Where have I seen this? CG looks familiar. Where have I fucking seen some shit? I've seen them so. God damn it, they're sharing fucking files. These motherfuckers aren't even really doing unique shit. Anyway, any fucking way. Alright, so, you know, she does her little fucking transformation. You know, the bad guy is out and all this other bullshit. And, you know, we're kind of like, oh, wow, she did the fucking Phoenix Force shit. Woo woo. We're all like, whatever. And, then they had this real touching scene where she goes home to her family and all her friends are there. You know, like it's a real friendship show. Like they did a good job with the friendship and the relationships and the dynamics. And I thought it was cute. Like they went some of the stuff they did, instead of going predictable, they went a little unpredictable. And it paid off. It paid off. As far as the characters, they were all likable. Like I liked all the characters, even like the bad guys. Like I liked them. I thought, okay, and like the plot was pretty weak, and like the underlying mystery was pretty fucking weak, but the characters were seriously likable. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And then when, you know, she does her shit at home and her friends are there as a support group and there's this touching shit, and then all kinds of crazy shit happens back in at the thing, you know, the end of the season, and it's like, oh, the girls come back through the gate, and I won't tell you any of the real bad spoilers, but the looks on their face should tell you that they're going into season 2, if there is a season 2 like this. They're like, fuck. That's the look on their face. And this show has language. This show has lukewarm action to it. It has lukewarm relationships, but the relationships between these girls is what really sells the show. Like, it's super cute. Like, I enjoyed this from a world building and character driven things immensely more than, you know, Warrior Nun. And I'm hoping they're going to do another season of Warrior Nun because, you know, at the end of it, it kind of grew on me. Is the same thing that motherfucking WINX did. I think, personally, this show would have been much better off just calling it Fate and left it at that. And then in the credits said, based on the WINX thing. Not try to leverage the WINX environment because as a person not at all associated with the WINX environment, like I was like, okay, big fucking whoop-dee. But I can only imagine motherfuckers that grew up watching this shit, okay, turn into this shit. Like, I don't know if any of you guys watched it as a kid and then you migrated to this and you felt that was cool. Well, fuck, sound off in the comments, because I think, me personally, I'd have been just a little pissed off, but I digress. All in all, I enjoyed it. If they do a season 2, I'm pretty sure me and the wife will watch it again, or watch it when it starts, not watch the whole thing again, but watch the next season. Because I think it was entertaining, especially considering I felt it was just a little bit stronger than this. And in regards to this shit, you know, I was like, okay, influences definitely were there. So that's it. That's it for now. I hope you liked it. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell your friends far and wide. And tell next motherfuckers, please be good to yourself, good to each other. Go to the to the fullest, right of us to do us all. Have some bitches, get some scars and all that jazz. I'll see you motherfuckers next time. I'm out, bitches.